Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad TASNIM. I will present introduction. It is generally applicable societal norms for what is good or wrong in a given circumstance, or the process through which two standards are established. Negotiation ethics might include expectation of justice, equity, and honesty, but circumstances can occasionally drive people to act unethically, despite their best intentions. Most of the time, people settle disagreements through negotiation. It is a method of reaching a compromise or agreement while avoiding disagreement and conflict. Individuals obviously want to attain the best possible outcome for their stance in each argument. It is when negotiating ethics come into play. On the other hand, decisions from ethical discussion that were detrimental to both parties. For example, when attorneys negotiating with other lawyers, most attorneys experience some level of professional uneasiness while they want to get good outcomes for their clients. To achieve this goal, lawyers frequently use deceitful methods. As example, two parties are negotiating the purchase or sale of a small business. The seller will accept 400,000 while the buyer will pay 450,000 for the property, but the seller's attorney originally says the seller needs 500,000. But the buyer's lawyer says the buyer can't go higher than 350,000. Both sides have misled each other to gain their objectives. Nonetheless, both began with position statement intended to deceive the other party.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad from RAMLI, and I will continue for introduction. During this conversation, the seller representative is likely to exaggerate the worth of the company being sold, while the buyer's representative is likely to undervalue it. These are the problems emerge from the section of negotiations, which is it necessary for the seller's counsel to disclose that the seller believes in the future competition from foreign corporation will affect the company economic values? Other than that, is it necessary for the buyer's lawyer to reveal the buyer's inventive plan to improve the firm's competitive position and future value? Then, when does the seller exaggeration advocate cross the line into unethical bargaining? And so on. Some representatives may try to enhance their client interest by employing strategies to make their opponent uncomfortable. They could be obnoxious or impolite, or they might use overly aggressive bargaining method. A few may engage in aggressive or even hostile behavior in the hopes of alarming an unsuspecting opponent. In this case, what extent are buyer or seller agents permitted to use extremely competitive or combative negotiation strategies to achieve favorable client outcomes? Other than that, at what point does such behavior cross the line into unacceptable behavior? The issue keys are discovered using the preceding example. The first is that attorneys employ deceptive ways to achieve their goals. Second, they employ aggressive negotiation tactics to secure a favorable result. Conflict resolution strategies, the reason of choosing the mentioned strategies, are all covered in this study.
The first key problem is deceptive tactics to achieve their own goals. While most negotiators believe they are adept at detecting dishonesty, the truth is that most people are not. According to studies, human instincts about other side lying are correct at least half of the time. The good news is that they can teach themselves to make observations that aid in the detection of deceit with some effort. These are based on the belief that lying requires more mental effort than telling the truth. This produces worry and tension, which result in signs that reveal when individuals lie. If you are encountering your opponents using deceptive tactics in negotiations, the following is what we can do in general. The first one is question. Ask probing questions and phrase the questions in different ways. Number 2 is draw a line. Force the other party to lie or back off. Number 3 is confront. Put the other party to the test or call them out on their deceitful behavior. This can be done in either a conflictive or non-conflicting manner. A conflictive strategy will likely end the negotiation, but a non-conflictive approach may not. As an example, you may express what you perceive and offer to assist the other party in changing to more honest practices. Number 4 is ignore. Ignore the unethical strategy and continuing to negotiate with the interests at stake in mind. And last but not least, reciprocate. Respond in kind. People who employ misleading strategies are typically nervous. This is because they are aware that what they are doing is unethical. We might say that they are deceiving the other party. By asking a lot of questions, they will be more careful while replying, and at times they will make mistakes, indicating that they are lying. Another explanation is that those who are aware of what they are doing is wrong will always have something unusual about them. It might be their body language or the strange way they speak. So, by closely studying them, we may call them out on their behavior. Calling out is sometimes the greatest tactics for avoiding being misled by a negotiator. The strategies listed earlier were chosen mainly to help people identify falsehoods from their opponents. This is critical so that they are not misled by incorrect information, although sometimes using deceptive tactics help them to gain their desired outcome successfully, but this should not be a culture when negotiating. Misleading information will affect future negotiations. Besides, if the negotiator used the deceptive methods, it can cause discomfort, personal stress, or even guilt. All of these consequences is thought to be avoided if all of the methods mentioned above are used.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nur ASYILAH binti Muhammad. Today I'm going to present to you about the two approaches to deal with an aggressive opponent. The first one, ignore it. There's a good chance the person you are talking to is waiting for you to respond. Anger, frustration, and even copying their own bad behavior to try to beat it, which we should not give it to them. Don't respond, don't give an answer, and just keep going. If their hostility was meant to throw you off your game, they will soon realize that it is not working and stop using it. The second one is to call it out. A competitor's persistent attack may make it difficult to retain calm. Keep calm, and stopping their behavior may be made it crucial. Bringing attention to their violent behavior may shift their emphasis from you to them. You may say, can we all agree to diffuse this atmosphere, or would you want me to take a break? It appears you have a lot resemble towards me and I want to work through it. Interrupting their behavior give you both an opportunity to recover, face the situation head on, and strike a mutual beneficially resolution. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad NAZIM and MAHADI. So I will continue our presentation. Point 3 is the unethnic behavior of individual or various national and culture. When you dealing with people, you will face barrier including different law and belief. So it will problem to communication. Culture is community socially transmit behavior, pattern, attitude, convention, and value, whether it's a country, ethnic group, or organization. The good thing when discussed with cross-culture is make greater burden the reach of your firm and delivery huge dividend. However, negotiating cross-culture might provide difficult, such as following. First is misunderstanding caused by language and culture difference. Second is disagreement arise by various approaches to time management. Third and the last difficult is an international translation of culture standard. So the strategy for negotiating across different culture is, first is do study on the culture of your source. Reading and talking to the skilled people and understand the culture of country can increase self-understanding. So it can be an additional skill to negotiate with cross-culture people. Second is demonstrate appreciation for culture different. Inexperienced negotiator often dismiss foreigner culture custom, so do some research on the culture of their country before negotiating. Respect for each other is the key to appreciate other culture. Third is consider how others would see your culture. Analyze how to international consultants view your behavior, attitude, standard and value. This will help you to understand the way people see your culture. Further, you can control the behavior and negotiate effectively. The last strategy is look for solutions to bridge the culture divide. Since there are many different between culture, you need to find similarity that can bring the relation closer to each other, such as share experience, hobby, or objective. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tun Muhammad Syafiq Iman bin Tun Abdul Razak, P0420100272. I would like to discuss about the negotiation between Malaysia and Singapore between the cases of Batu Putih Island. So both countries have claimed the Batu Putih Island for a very long time, but Malaysia just claimed it, while Singapore provide many evidence to strengthen their claim about it. So Singapore won over Batu Putih Island, and the good thing is Malaysia accept their defeat as to maintain diplomatic relationship between Malaysia and Singapore. So knowledge learned about this Batu Putih Island cases is theories and also evidence is important, key to accomplish negotiation process or an argument. And also from the side of Malaysia, accepting defeat also needs to be pointed out as something positive during an argument, so that the relationship between both sides will always be a good thing.
Hi, my name is Muhammad NAIM bin ZALMAN, and my number matrix is B0420101888. For point number 1, Malaysians are face conscious. Malay, Chinese and Indian workers have been marginalized in Malaysia. From a Malaysian point of view, this is important because of how it affects people faces. Even though most of the people who work in Malaysia are from 3 different ethnic groups, Malaysians, Chinese and Indians, these groups have been able to keep their own identities and live together peacefully. For point number 2, ethnic groups have different cultural and religious traditions despite sharing regard, respect for the elderly, harmony and face-saving. Face-to-face communication is essential if we are to maintain social harmony and pleasant interactions. Taking care of your appearance improve your relationships, mental well-being and the level of respect you get. Malaysians who are able to get together and collaborate, this demonstrates a sense of belonging, compassion and a desire to collaborate. They place greater emphasis on us than I. For point number 3, Malaysian cultures ban hostility according to the study. Malaysians loathed violence, roughness and insensitivity were detested by Malaysians, who saw them as a sign of disrespect. Managers in Malaysia are more likely to use interpersonal methods. These and other factors have led Malaysians to choose dialogue and compromise over violence. For point number 4, Malaysians use linguistic seduction to disguise anger. To maintain ties, Malaysian middle managers keep a friendly face on their business card. Managers use metaphors and analogies to woo their employees instead of using harsh language. Managers in Malaysia have a tendency to integrate, compromise and be flexible, dominating and avoiding were the worst. For dispute resolution, more than half of Malaysian public and private sector leaders collaborate. According to previous surveys, The best ways to handle conflict are integration and compromise. Point number 1, possibility to use the phase concern negotiating theory to explain why individuals use different dispute resolution techniques. This may be accomplished by contrasting and comparing the many different styles in light of the idea. They need to be brought to the attention of people who are now embroiled in a struggle with their counterparts. For point number 2, having a greater understanding of this subject might lead to less argument if one were more knowledgeable about them. Malaysians respect dispute resolution and strong relationships. Maintaining long-term professional relationships is crucial in Malaysia, where connection maintenance is a no worry. Thank you.